All right. Let's get Twitter sent out. Everything joining up and Discord. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is I was going to say April. Funny, I spent most of April trying to say February. This is May 3rd, and today is the May 3rd Text Quest Devstream. So, today we are going to be continuing our work on the combat system, and we are hopefully by the end of today going to have fail states and the core loop done. I say that with a little bit of hesitation because the core loop finishing up is going to require us to get the multiple attack sections working. Not multiple as in multiple individual attack segments, but multiple as in the type multiple attack section. So we'll see how far we get with that. Hopefully that won't be too terrible. But to start, we do have last Tuesday, we left off with a bit of an issue with timeline. It seemed like on-graph stop was not being called, nor was on behavior play or on behavior pause, and we kind of hit a conundrum there for the mixer because we needed one of those functions to be called if we were going to do anything correctly. And now I figured this out after the dev stream. Actually, I figured it out after I closed Unity and reopened it. It worked. I don't know why. There wasn't anything I could find. There was some talk about how if on-graph stop will always be called if on-graph start was called, and I was thinking, well, maybe I didn't call on-graph start, but I did. So I don't know. Apparently, timeline can just be really, really funky. And you can see here that I went through my debugs to confirm all this just before the stream, and I got 2 stops and 2 starts, and that's about what I would expect, considering I only have 2 timelines right now. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. I did actually find something else while I was testing before the dev stream today, and it's something I hadn't thought about, but totally makes sense, and I understand why it's doing it. It is a bug. Well, it's not a bug. It's an oversight, and we need to fix it. And that is, let's go ahead and we should probably maximize on play. So, if we go into a fight, and the first stage is fine, we don't really lose anything here. But now, if I do this, you'll notice that I have 2 attacks going at once. I was debating actually after I found that out, like wondering if it would be good for us to show that, to just have it be possible for you to do 2 attacks at once, but I honestly think that that's a terrible way to go, especially because once you start typing 2 attacks, they'll constantly interfere with each other. They'll be, saying you typed the wrong letter. So we can't do that. I was going to do a quick fix before the stream, but I did that by making current attack static, but then that just did what I expected it would do after I started coding that, which is multiple attacks would basically all affect the same label, and we don't want that. So I need to have a static bool, I think, in the attack section behavior. So protected static bool, and we'll want to say is attacking is equal to false, and this variable it needs to be static because both attack section and both offense section and defense section have their own protected current attacks. But if it's static, I can say if our current attack is equal to null and is attacking is equal to false, then we can set our new attack and we can have that be the primary attack that we're typing in. This is necessary because otherwise, like I just showed, we will have multiple attacks in progress at the same time, and that's just not something that we can do. It is far too confusing, and it does not look good. So, all right, let's go down to, let's see, prepare frame, on attack begin, no. Here we are. So on attack backspace, I do want to say is attacking is equal to false here, and we're going to say is attacking is equal to false here. Pretty much anywhere where we say current attack is equal to null, we're going to want to say is attacking is equal to false. But we also need to say where are we setting current attack. Find all references. It's probably done in the individual segments, isn't it? Let's see. Index, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. All right. So we're going to go ahead and say is attacking is equal to true. Nice. And current attack, that's all fine. Do we have anywhere else where we set this? No. Okay, so we should be good. As long as they have that. Okay. I think we are in a good place. Let's see, on attack complete. I probably should on graph stop set is attacking to false. Oh crap, no. So I can't really set is attacking to be false on behavior pause or anything like that, because if I have multiple segments that are nested, that would cause havoc. So I can really only set is attacking equal to false. I see. Normally I would say that I could do it on graph stop, except it's possible that I might have like nested combat timelines, and that would make it also not work. So I don't really have a good place for that, do I? Actually, no, I do. I will only need to set is attacking equal to false. Well, no, that's okay. Hold on. So I need to set is attacking equal to false when I clean things up. So I want to go to, let's see, attack begin, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. So on behavior pause is when I clean up all the labels. But for this, I need to say, I guess I would do this here, right? Timeline, single, is active, switch, type, if attack's completed is greater than 0. Yeah, so I think I just want to do this. If current attack does not equal null, then we're going to do this. We'll set current attack is equal to null, and we'll say is attacking is equal to false. That should make sure that we have the correct values set and that it gets cleared when we would expect. The main thing I want to avoid here is accidentally setting is attacking to true and not resetting it to false, so that way it just becomes impossible for us to type a new attack ever. That would obviously suck. So let's go ahead, clear these, and we are going to try this out again. So we're going to try getting to the second stage, at which point I'll try typing in half of one attack and then start typing the other, make sure that it just says, nope, you can't do that. It's not going to do that because I didn't actually set that up. Let's go up here to, no, where are you? Where do I set? Oh, no, I do. I set is current attack equal to true. Or I said is attacking to true, but I need to say and not is attacking. There we go. Oh, crap. Okay, I can't do that. We're going to do this. If not is attacking. Otherwise, it would just fall through. And that's not what we want. All right. So let's go ahead and let that compile. And we'll give that a shot, see what happens. Oh, yes, and before I forget, because I already forgot to make myself walk on screen in a timely manner. Aha! Coding. Going to be a lot of coding today. Or rather, we will be doing a lot of coding today. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and play. Obviously, it'll work perfectly. And here we are. Interesting. There seems to be, at the top left up here, you'll notice some weird red characters for a little bit. I think that's the vitality label. It's really weird. I don't know why it's there, but I'll probably try to pause to see what that is later. Left. This is a... Nice! Oh, shoot. Timeout. That might not have worked. Although I can use this opportunity to see what those letters are. There they are. See the red up here? What are you? Are you just the UI? You are. It's because you're scaling in? Weirdly, that's unexpected, but okay. It's because it seems to be doing that animation, but like it gets stuck on the first frame, which is interesting. Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and get to the second phase so we can test our multiple combat segments again. Left. This is an okay. And now it's not working, so I can't start typing the second one, which means that it's not setting his attacking back to false like I would expect. So let's go to our offense section, behavior, which is the only one that I don't have open right now. Let's go ahead and get that open. Go to definition, drag this over. So if attack's complete, we'll do complete attack, go to definition. Okay, so I guess that means that we'll want to, I don't know, peak definition here. On attack complete. Oh, okay, I need to move is attacking to be equal to false regardless of whatever your type is. I think that makes sense. So we'll move this out, put this here. Makes sense, right? As soon as you finish an attack, you would no longer be considered attacking. Let's see. Oh, well, that's compiling. Anything exciting going on? The gaming space. Nothing that I'm really aware of right now. Like I've said, past couple of streams, it's kind of a dead time in games. Obviously, there's smaller scale stuff happening, but you know, AAA companies tend to kind of quiet down around this time just because it's gearing up for E3. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and say battle. Left. This is an attack. Nice. Okay, so got that working. Cool. Son of a. Start was called, but stop never was. That's never a good thing. Don't tell me that it's like a 50-50 thing. Like sometimes it works and sometimes... You cannot be serious. Oh, wait, hold on. Time out. Let's go to my mixer. Yeah, right there. Just if it's playing, we should stop. Okay, great. Well, we're going to keep an eye on our console and make sure that we get... So there's the start. That means ongraph has started. There's stop. There's a second stop. What happened here? So it seems to log that out if I pay attention to it, but not if I kind of just let it run. What the heck? Timelines. Why do you do this to me? Okay. Whatever. So the next thing we want to do before we progress to the last one, which is a multi-staged attack, we need to handle fail states, and that means that we need to have support for fail priorities. So we're going to go ahead and go to... Where are you? Let's try to organize some of this. We don't really need you guys. I'm going to move my attack label all the way over because I don't need it. There's our section clip. So the clips are all next to each other. The behaviors are all next to each other, and then our mixer is going to be out the far left. Excuse me. All right. With that, we are going to add something to our behavior. We are going to want to have a failure priority. So if, let's go ahead and say public int fail, we'll yeah, we'll call it fail priority. Fail priority is equal to 0. Let's save that. Go to our attack section clip. Serialize field. Protected. Protected. Int fail priority. I can't spell. Is equal to 0. Let's go ahead and tooltip that. I'm going to say what do I want to say for that? Specify. I guess I know I want to correct that spelling mistake or that capitalization mistake. This will be fail state with the highest priority will be played after this section ends. Let's see. Let's go ahead and say fail timeline. Or how about we say attack section with the highest fail priority will play its target timeline after the section ends. After, how about the track ends, because that's when it would happen. And I could probably actually make this one a bool check based on fail and interaction being true. Probably, just to make sure that that looks nice. Also, I just want to see if I can make that work. So let's go ahead and clear this stuff out. Open up my timelines. Oop. Come on. I believe in Unity. What is going on with my left monitor's windows are freaking out. Alright, let's go to our stance. Initial, oh, wait, no, I don't want that. I want phase 2 left. Here. Open up our timeline. I'm going to grab this and make sure that that goes away. That's kind of cool. Yeah. You know what would be really, really cool is if I had a drop down that would automatically grab all of the priority the priorities in the given section, and then it would generate those. That would be pretty cool, but I'm not going to try to figure that out because that would be insane and involve. God, what would that even involve? That would just be. You know what? I bet I could do it. No, I couldn't. It would involve doing reflection to grab the existing timeline editor. That's disappointing. Well, maybe I could do it. Whatever. That's not really a good use of my time. It would just be a cool exercise, I think, to be able to make these values automatically adjust based on what other values in the same track have used. But we don't really care. So I'm going to say. So this is an interesting case, actually. Now that I think about it, it wouldn't matter, right? The only way that this fail priority can really come into effect is if 2 attack sections end at the exact same time. That is unlikely to happen. In fact, I would say it's downright impossible because I will never have 2 at the same time. At least, why would I? Because those would just be grouped under one attack section, I would think. Well, no. No, I lied. I could see weird cases where, like I might have an attack and defense section both occur at the same time, and there's just like a ton of defenses that you have to make before you can get to the attack, basically. So yeah, priority is still important. It's just that in this case, the current use case where I have nested ones, it's not actually useful because what would happen is once the defense section ends, if you didn't type it, you would just take damage because this failure timeline would immediately trigger, and it ends before the attack section one does. So, of course, they could end at the same time, in which case it would become relevant again. But I guess we'll go ahead and get this functionality in there anyway, just in case I need to. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to our clips, and we're going to say behavior dot fail priority is equal to fail priority. Okay, grab that, copy it, we're going to move that over to attack label. Oh, not attack label, offense section. Sorry. Excuse me. I think I got like half of that cut off. Sneezing, man. And let's see, failure time resolve. Paste that in. Cool. So now, when we go to our attack section mixer, what we need to do is we need to grab you, get rid of our start and stops. Actually, you know what? I think we'll keep those in there just so that I don't go crazy and accidentally do something there. On attack fail, we are going to, instead of immediately skipping ahead, I guess we would add it to a queue. Oh, no, that's not good actually. No, this makes sense actually. Actually, it could go crazy. I want to know if on attack fail gets called twice or more than that. My main question there is I don't know what happens if you set a director's time to be equal to the same value that it already is. Presumably, Unity would do nothing, if I had to guess. But just to make sure that Unity actually does nothing, we're going to do a quick run-through of combat and fail the second segment. So let's keep an eye on the console. I'm going to hit play here. If fail comes out more than twice, then that means that it does something and it reevaluates clips, which is not good for us. It means that we have to figure out a way to isolate that. So let's see. We should be able to go into battle. Go left. This is oh wait, I don't want to do that. I want to fail all of it. Okay, never mind. We'll let that go. Okay. It only fails twice. That's good. That's fine. Then yes, what we will do here is we will not immediately trigger a fail state timeline. We will just skip to the end, and then once we get to the end, we're going to have onGraph stop do something. I'm also going to go ahead and uncollapse these, make sure that, yep, fails do get called before stop. Cool. So let's go ahead and go back. I need to keep track of this, and I also need to stop saying so many times because that's infuriating for me. Technically I said there. Hello, Paul. Welcome back. How are you doing tonight? Okay, so I guess I would make this a dictionary. It would be a list of integers, which would be their priorities. No, I can't do that because if I have... frack. Well, I guess in that case, I should never have two with the same ID, or the same priority value, so that's fine. And if I do have two with the same priority value, then presumably whichever one was last would deserve it. So let's go ahead and say using system.collections.generic. And on top of that, actually, this is not going to be great. I need to let my behavior know if it's completed or not. So I'm going to add a public bool is complete, I guess. Is complete. Get return. We're going to say type question. Type is equal to single question mark, and we're going to say return attacks completed greater than 0. else we will need to return attacks completed is greater than or equal to labels. Maybe that will work. Not count. Let's find out. I think that will work. Let's see. Good. So on Twitter, you got loads of functionality going. The few days I missed, I got a bit of functionality going. I think if we're on the right track, I might be able to actually finish up the combat loop today. At which point things will start picking up and move really quickly. So we're currently working on fail states and fail priority. So if you have multiple attacks that you fail, we need to pick which one gets to set the fail timeline and then play that. And once we have that working, then we'll be able to move on to the last thing that I think we need, which is multiple attacks per individual attack segment. That's what this type equals attack section type dot single is doing. All of them right now are single, which means that they only have one attack, or you only have to enter one of them to make a choice and win, or complete the attack. But we're going to have one that's a type called multiple, and that's pretty much the same as what the current combat system is, or the old combat system, where it's just a bunch of labels that you type, and you can type however many you can to build up a combo, and then you'll just execute a bunch of damage at the end there. That's going to be the idea anyway. So let's go ahead, and we are going to... Oh, you know what? I bet... Actually, before I forget, I'm going to maybe do like a comment sequential, because it could be pretty cool to have like a sequential type where you have to just you have to type them in order as they appear within a given time. That would be tricky, but it could be a very interesting thing to have. Mostly because I don't want to end every single combat route with just like a bunch of words that you have to type. That's fine for a little bit, but I would like to have some variety there. So I think having things like sequential attacks where you have to like type in a specific order would be nice. That could be really cool if you have like a puzzle that you have to solve outside of combat, and then go into combat and attack in a very specific order, all at once. It could be cool. We're gonna hold off on obviously that type of functionality. So let's go ahead and we're gonna say, where's my mixer? There it is. On attack fail, we are going to add... Oh, you know what? I guess I don't really need that, do I? Because these things would only happen if it fails. So that actually could be... that's actually something I was thinking of, is the longer phrases. Because we have support for multi-word phrases now. So it would probably make sense for them to be thematically related to whatever you're fighting. So yeah, it would be pretty funny to have like Sing Semper Tyrannis for a combat with the king or something like that. Okay, so on attack fail, we are going to want to say... Well, I don't have it set up yet, do I? I don't. Okay, so we're going to say private dictionary. It's going to be an int value, and followed by an attack section behavior. Okay, and we're going to say failed attacks is equal to new, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then down here on fail, we're just going to say failed attacks dot add behavior dot fail priority, followed by just behavior. Okay. And let's see here. Then on stop here, we're going to want to figure out what we need to do. So, go ahead and go down here. And actually, what does our current structure look like? Because I think our success timelines are also... No, I guess they're not. They are not defined by... Oh no, they're defined here. Right. So if I don't have a timeline there, then I guess that... that makes sense. Okay. So I don't need to I don't need to determine what timeline to play if we succeed. I just need to play a timeline when we fail. That's the only time I have to determine that. Okay. So after, well, yeah, I guess I can do it after this for loop. We're just gonna go ahead and say, oh, gross. Okay. Ah, gross. Really? Fine. So I'm gonna say int priority, if I could spell priority, is equal to, I guess we'll say 0 to start. And we're just going to say for each, I hate having to do for each loops, but we have to for dictionaries. I'm going to say for each int key in, what is it? Failed attacks dot keys. Say if key is greater than priority, we'll say priority is equal to key. So after that, we'll have the priority attack, which will be the one with the highest value. And we'll simply say behavior, well, no, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and set this to be -1 by default. And actually, no, even better. In case I ever, for some reason, just have a bunch of them and I get lazy and decide to go into the negative priorities, I'm going to say int dot min value, which is a huge negative number. So if our priority is greater than or equal to 0, then we'll do something here. If not, we don't care. So we'll say if priority is greater than or equal to 0. Wow, none of that did what I wanted. I can't type. There we go. So if our priority is greater than or equal to 0, then we want to do a failure of some kind. It means that we have failed an attack. So we are going to say, I keep track of my behaviors? I don't. I also don't reset my attack count, I assume. All right, that's fine with me. So we're going to go ahead and say, what do I want to do here? I guess we would just say failed attacks of priority dot fail timeline. So that's our director dot play. I think that's all we would need to do. Let me make sure that is about what I was expecting. So I don't think I need this as complete. I'll comment it out for now, and we'll delete it later because it could be useful still at some point. But we don't really need it right now. So let's go ahead and say on behavior pause if fail on action. Blah blah blah. I guess actually we can just do that. We can streamline all of my calls and checks to that stuff. So we'll go ahead and say, and comment that out, say not is complete. Then we're going to say, so is complete, I was saying if type equal to multiple. Make sure that I'm doing this right. Text completed is less. So if we're equal to multiple, if our tax completed is less than labels.count, which is pretty much exactly what I'm doing up here. I'm saying if it's greater than or equal to, then it's completed if it's multiple, and if it's equal to 0. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much correct. So make sure we're not using that anywhere else. Let's see. Yep, that's all fine. Okay, I think we're good there. So it did prove useful after all. I think that puts us in a place to handle this now. So let's go ahead and set up a failure timeline. Ah! Accidentally punched my desk. Alright, while that's happening, I'm going to take a drink. Let's see. Alright, so first things first, I guess we'll want to have a new timeline asset. Let's see, where are you? Here we are. Right, we have our intro fail, don't we? So let's set that up, actually. Initial timeline, set this up. We have our fail timeline, okay. and let's just see if that plays. So the fail timeline should take us back to our idle state. So you'll see that it'll lerp us to here. And let's go ahead and turn on the preview. I'll probably need to actually write some scripts to open our our combat menu. But aside from that, it shouldn't be that bad. So let's play. I'm going to just not enter anything into the first section, and I should fail because I didn't make a single attack. Okay. Going to battle, not going to type anything. And then we should just crossfade back. Okay, nice. That's stupid, but that's actually because I didn't pay attention. Let's go back here to the fail timeline. Come up here. I need to add a playable track, and then I need to add my set Cinemachine camera clip. So we're going to go ahead and put that here. Flatten that. Let's grab our idle camera. Yada, yada, yada. Put that in there. Very annoying that I have to do that. I really wish that Cinemachine's shot track just had like a persist shot option. That would be really nice. Probably should write that in as a suggestion because I get the feeling it would take them like 5 seconds to do that. Alright, that should now properly set things up as we would expect. So it'll reset the position and it will keep the active camera as the idle camera. Let's see. Oh, while this is going through. Oh yeah, I guess it's not really gaming news, but something that happened recently was, I guess Harry Potter got a new game made by Warner Brothers, and it's a mobile game, and apparently it's like horrendously, what's the term? I was gonna say it's not aggressive, predatory in its practices. Okay, so that works. Let's go ahead and I guess we want to have a clip or a behavior that just opens up combat. Do we want to do that, really? Sure, why not? Alright, so let's go to, let's see, timeline. We're going to collapse our attacks. Cinemachine, characters. I guess we'll just create a folder and call it, I don't know what I want to call this. Menu, I guess. So let's create playables, playable behavior. Okay, let's rename this as show combat options behavior. That's honestly not a very, very great name. Let's go ahead and open this up. This, and we're just going to say on behavior play if application dot is plain, so UI dot get combat. Oh, right. It's not in the text quest namespace, is it? Text quest dot combat, which means I actually need to come up here and say using sleepyowl dot common. Okay, so UI dot get combat view dot show. I think it's like show info. I guess it would be. Wait, really? It's both of those things? Well, that just seems stupid. But okay, so show input will just show options and do everything for me. Okay, good. I was gonna say, like, it doesn't really make sense for me not to have a catch-all for that. Cool. So show input will do all that. Let's go up to here. All that's really gonna do is just literally on behavior play pull up the menu. That's it. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. We don't care about on pause or on graph stop or any of that. Let's go ahead and just save that out. And we'll create a new playable asset. Call this show combat input. It compiled halfway through my typing. So yeah, apparently the new Harry Potter mobile game is like really, really bad about beating you over the head and forcing you to try. Well, not forcing you, but like psychologically battering you to make microtransactions. And it's become a bit of a talking point online just because the scene where it does that, like the first scene where it tries to get you to pay money for microtransactions, is literally your character being strangled by a vine. Um, and I just find that hilarious. Like they have no sense of awareness whatsoever. Or maybe the dev team did. I don't know. All right. So let's go ahead. Set that up. I'm also going to rename this. We're going to call this input because I'm showing input, not the option specifically. Input. Come on, Unity. All right. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I'm going to say script playable, show combat input behavior playable is equal to script playable. And before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and say text quest dot combat and then show combat behavior dot create graph, and then show combat input behavior is equal to playable dot get behavior. All right, jeez, and then return playable. Okay, I don't know why I did that because I don't actually need it to do anything, but you know, why did I do that? That was just whatever. We'll just do that. Or I guess I could just say return this, can't I? Because I don't actually have to set any parameters on it, so I might as well just do that. Alright, that's all I needed from that. And let that compile. Double click on that, because it's going to have those inconsistent line endings that drive me mad. Alright. So once this is working the way I would expect, we will be able to have, at the very least, we won't have a complete combat loop yet because we haven't gotten to the end and then looped back around, but we will have a failure loop so we can start an attack, fail, and then get booted back to our menu. So that should be useful. And then hopefully, well, after that, all we really need is the multiple attack type, and then that's it. At the very least, that's it for our first, our very, very basic test combat. We still need to handle stances. I don't have that working quite yet. We have the building blocks for that set up, obviously, but we don't have anything actually. We don't have the troll, changing stances yet. We don't even have it changing phases yet. So like the whole phase stance stuff is still up in the air. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new show combat input clip. We will set this to not be 5 seconds long and instead be like 1 second long. And that's all we really need from it, so we'll let that go. So now we're just going to go ahead and attack, fail, and it should boot us back to the idle screen and pull up combat or the combat view again. Everything should be fine after that. We will probably actually want to also set the characters to rotate. I don't think I have that set up in the fail timeline, so they're just going to be facing whatever direction they were facing when you failed. But that shouldn't be too bad. So we'll go to battle. Not going to type anything, see what happens. And we fail. Right about now. Transition back. Okay. Wow, that is really, really slow. So we're going to... I guess it doesn't really matter because that's just the timeline. But I am going to make another playable track just to speed things up a little bit. We're just going to move this down to here. Move this down to here. And I think we're going to put it like right there. That seems fine. So we'll say show menu, set camera. Oh, right, I should probably actually move this out of there. That's fine. Okay, so let's try that one more time. It seems like everything's working, but I want to make sure that everything actually looks right and that we can try attacking again. Oh, right, and I forgot to pay attention to what the troll looks like, but it shouldn't be rotating to face the camera while that's happening. I can probably also turn on maximize on play. Okay, so we get in, show no attack combat options, and then we fail. We get rooted back. Cool. Let's go ahead and try attacking again. No, that's not. Oh, that's so sad. Are we getting errors? Didn't work. Interesting. Why would you fail the second time? Oh, I bet I know why. I bet it's because we have set it to be attacking, and we have not set it back to not be attacking. So let's go to combat view, and we want to. Actually, you know what? We're gonna have to open up a bunch of things. I'm gonna go to start combat test, and actually that's not what we need. We want the troll combat system, which is the combat system is what I really want. So let's go all the way back here. All right, we have our combat view that's cached. Okay, so we start combat, set our player HP, start combat, show declaration, yada yada yada. And once that initial timeline happens, we go to on intro finish, go to definition, initialize help labels, go to definition, select action. There we are. Okay. So I need to make sure that I call select action, which I am currently not doing. Interesting. I don't have a way of calling that from the outside because it's protected. So, that's interesting. The way it currently works is by initializing our health labels, and that is super awkward. That really doesn't make sense. Well, let's see. Start action select. Is that because... Okay, I guess I just need to call that too. So let's go ahead and close that, open up our behavior, and we're just going to say UI.get combat view dot select action. Wait, what? What? Start action select, that's what it is. Start action select. Okay. And actually, just to be sure, okay, all that does is set current face is equal to that. Okay. So let's give that a shot again, see if it actually works. Oh, and while we're fixing that, let's go ahead and fix our fail timeline so that the troll will rotate as we would expect. As soon as I can actually do anything once Unity compiles. You know, you can't really rush your compiler. If you do, that's how you get bugs. So I'm going to go back here, and I need... Let's see, do I want to do a new group? Yeah, we'll do a new group. So we'll say track group. We'll call this characters. Okay. Let's also go ahead and make a new track group for the menu. Call this menu. Or mu, because I can't type. Menu. Show menu, pull that down. Let's put that up here by the camera. Oh, not within the camera. Come on, work with me here, Unity. Teeny tiny lines here. Let's collapse you. Cool. We're going to go ahead and say playable track. Have it set. Look at target clip. All right. And this is going to be our troll rotate object. The target is going to be our main camera. It is going to be always following. It's not going to invert. So cool. Let's go ahead and save that. See what that looks like. Wait, why is it super long? It doesn't really need to be that. I feel like it could just as easily be that. Cool. Nice. So let's see what that looks like. So now I should be able to fail or I should be able to start an attack, fail, get put back to the idle state, start another attack, and then I can execute, whatever I need to do. I can fail again, or I can continue on, and hopefully that loop will actually be established. Next step will obviously be testing multiple failures, making sure that the highest priority failure wins. Okay, so we get our battle. Combat. I didn't know. Oof, I almost typed it. Set that to be equal. Or set that to fail. We're back. Can I make it a selection now? No, I can't. What a cruel world. Okay. Well, step 2 will be, go to definition. Maybe I need to say start action select first. That would be stupid. Hold on. Let's see. Action select. Are we not getting to the check input somehow? On submit, which gets called when we press enter. So, yeah, what's going on there, text quest? My own code. Interesting. Is it because I'm maybe stopping this coroutine? Nope, because that's never being used. Well, that seems pointless. Okay, well then let's comment you out if we're not ever using you. We will delete you later. Okay, so that's interesting. Here we okay, I just moved it to update, I guess. Is listening for submit if we get... Yeah, so are you just not firing then? Interesting. Let's check this out. So let's get rid of our defense section behavior, offense section behavior. I think those are all fine for now. Dang it, it's gone. Of course it has. Where are you? Show combat. Go to combat view. Let's drag that out so I don't have to constantly look for it again. And let's see here. Why are you not doing what I want? Check input. On submit, input.text.trim. Check input. And on submit is just being called from the base update function. So unless I did something stupid and overwrote update, which I did not. So I will... Super weird. I will just put in a log here. Make sure it's getting there. Debug.log test. And actually, you know what? I guess we'll say current phase so that I can be sure that it's what I would expect. Alright, let's see it, I guess. I have to assume that it's doing something unexpected there. Like it's setting its state to be, I don't know, items or something. That'd be super weird, but never discount the idiocy of past Chris. Nobody likes him. He's a terrible, terrible person. Or he was, I guess. Okay. So let's go ahead and play. Let's try this out again, see why it keeps failing. Or rather, I guess, not succeeding. It's not really throwing any errors or anything, so it's not really failing technically, but it's definitely not doing what it should be doing. Alright, go to battle. I'll let this play out so that we fail again. Okay. So we failed. Did anything get called here? Wah! Oh, that's right, because I haven't actually typed it yet. That's my fault. I'm going to go to 1. So you are totally in action select mode, and you just did not want to do anything, huh? Okay. Let's find all references here. Let's see, combat view, combat system, on action selected. Oh, okay. It's because our combat system is not doing it. It's not handling it correctly. Interesting. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense. I never reset my current phase, so that's rather awkward. So let's go ahead and say, where's select action made possible? Initialize health labels. Okay. So I guess I should, instead of having this be protected, I should make these public? Or at the very least, I should make select action public? That would seem to be the prudent thing to do. Let's go ahead and say public. So that should be fine. That means that we're going to change our show combat input behavior to select combat action behavior. Ugh. That's actually going to also change some things. So hooray! That's going to require me to actually have a reference to the combat manager, which that's not that hard. Assuming I can actually open up my clip. One day, we'll get there. All right. So this turned out to not be a total loss, I guess. So we'll say script playable, show combat input behavior, playable is equal to that. Then we'll say return playable. Okay, and then we're going to say show combat input behavior, behavior is equal to playable dot get behavior dot dot dot. And then before we do anything else, I guess I'll go ahead and rename this one more time, and we will say, what is it? Select combat action. Select combat action clip. Okay, let's go ahead and rename this to select combat action behavior. Select combat action behavior. Cool. And for this, we're going to want to go ahead and say public combat system, combat system, I guess. System. And we'll just say combat system dot, not with a capital C, combat system dot show select action. That's what it is. Okay, set that up, close that, and we'll just make this a serialized field, private, exposed reference, combat system. Why do I keep saying system? System. Let's go ahead and tooltip that. Tooltip the combat system in the scene, or scene. Okay, and we're just going to say behavior.combat system is equal to combat system. Combat system dot resolve graph dot get resolver. All right. So that should all do what we would expect. Let's go ahead and rename these. Crap. What did I call it? Select combat action, which of course it compiled halfway through my typing again, which I hate. Select combat action. Yes, I know. You're going to be mad for a while. Gotta do the same thing down here. Okay. Got both of those in there now. Gotta wait for those to compile, and then it should be good. It's always frustrating to rename scripts in Unity because you have to. It can get things into a weird state. You can't like just rename the scripts inside the solution and not rename the file names because then Unity doesn't like that and it goes nuts. So you have to make sure you rename both. And I don't like having a name that is like that was set up when it was doing something else. So I always try to make sure that my script names are as accurate as possible so that I can reasonably guess what they do if I ever have to go back to them. Obviously, doing things like tooltips has helped with that workflow, but it's always good to make sure that you try to be as clear as possible in your naming. So let's go ahead and go to timelines, intro, non-intro because that's actually not useful. Initial timeline. I lied, we need the fail timeline. Look at menu, here we are. So go ahead and add select combat action. We'll set this to be 1 second long. Let's go ahead and delete that, move that to there. And we're going to have our combat manager be there. Cool. So turn that off from preview. And now we should actually have a successful fail state. Which is a weird phrase, but hopefully it will work. Because I would like to, at the very least, get to multiple attacks today. Hopefully we can get through it, because if we can, then that's pretty much the entire combat flow, and all we have to do at that point is set up health, as well as, well, phases and stances, but that's obviously the last big thing. So don't type anything, let it fail. I'm mad. Okay. Not gonna be too mad. Not gonna be too mad. So once again, the graph did not call on graph stop. It just didn't. It's nothing I did, as far as I can tell. It just didn't. Come on. Timeline, are you really this unpredictable? This unreliable? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and hit play again. Let's try this again. Maybe this time it will decide to work. But you can see what I'm talking about, right? Like the on Tuesday we were having this problem where it just wouldn't fire on graph stop for no reason. I had no idea why it wouldn't. It just decided not to. I'm not going to type anything again. And if it fails again, then what I'm going to try is I'm going to try partial typing. Oh my god. Are you serious? Okay. So that failed. I'm going to try like partially typing the left label, and then I'm going to backspace out of that. And then I'm going to see if it works. I really hope that it wouldn't, or that it wouldn't still, but I don't know what's going on here. It's quite frustrating, though, I can tell you that. Okay, so I started typing, then I backspaced. What the heck? Are you serious, Unity? Oh my god, why? Okay, let's turn off maximize on play. Clear this. We're going to keep an eye on our frickin' console. Jeez. I'm so mad that Unity keeps doing this. The problem is that there's not much I can do to fix this. Like, it's clearly a timeline bug, I guess. Oh my god! Like, we get to the fail state, and then just nothing happens. What can I do here? Okay, purely out of curiosity, I'm going to say if failed attacks dot count is greater than or equal to label what? Oh crap. Attack count. Then we'll call on graph stop. I guess it would be this, followed by null. Oh, I guess I don't need that. I just need this. Which, of course, this is not enough of a playable. What do you mean you can't? You lie so frickin' hard. Alright, well, we'll pull a null, I guess, because we don't need anything from this playable. Oh, crap, I lied. Shit. Ah! Dang it. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Ah, jeez, you've got to be kidding me. I can't even do that. Well, great. What are my options here? Can I get my graph or something? Nope. I cannot. Awesome. So we're going to cache this. This is a very hack solution that I'm going to try here. Private playable, temp playable. Okay, we're going to set at the very end here, temp playable is equal to playable. Then here, I'm going to say temp playable. So, what I should do here is if I fail, and we know that fail is getting called, if it fails, I will force it to call stop. And if it still does not do that, one, I will be baffled because how? But two, I wish I knew why it sometimes worked and sometimes didn't. This started happening after I refactored it, or refactored the names of my clips, which is probably not a great thing. It probably means that the timeline system is delicate. And actually, if we can get this to work with this method, I will still probably comment out that line. I'm going to close Unity and then reopen it, and then I'll see if it works. And if it does work, I'm going to be very mad. As in, like, blind fury mad. Just raging anger. Okay, let's go into battle. Not going to type anything. And it should fail, because we will force it to fail by virtue of having the same amount. There it is. There's our stop. So we can get it to do that, at the very least. And now I can test this to see if, this works. Okay, well, it sort of works. Well, it sort of works. So, okay, well, let's go to this. Final references. On action selected, go to definition. Let's see something real quick. Action select. Totally should be. So we'll say debug.log combat action ID. Oh, I'm sorry, action. And I guess we'll also say current phase plus blah blah plus that. Do. Okay. And I am also just going to go ahead and test this real quick. So we're going to go back to our, let's see, where are you, tag section mixer. I'm going to get rid of this line that forces it to update. Because obviously that's not a realistic thing. Like, we can't just assume that people will fail everything and then be able to brute force it that way. That's not how this will work. We will have to be more clever than that. I guess one of the things that we can do is make sure that our initial timeline is set up to be 1 frame shorter than we would expect. Assuming I can actually grab this stuff. There we go. Where are you? Oh, right, temp playable. That's fair. Clear you, initial timeline. Let's go to our timeline. You're 1 frame short, so I don't really know what to do here. Now let's go to phase 1, initial timeline. Yep, okay. Rage inducing. I'm going to go through one more time. We're going to make sure that it fails still and has not decided to just start working for some reason. And if it still does not work, then I'm going to close Unity and reopen it because I legitimately wonder if that will work. And if it does, then Unity has really screwed up its system. Like, developers should never say, if I close Unity and reopen it, it should work. Because that's just terrible. Nice. It does not work. Cool. So I'm going to close Unity, and I'm going to reopen it. Hopefully this will not take too long. So let's go ahead. Excuse me. Open up TextQuest. Take a drink while it's happening. Let's also do some research. I'm curious. That might take a little bit. It's probably going to take like a minute or two. We're going to say Unity timeline on graph stop not called. Let's see. Custom scripts, blah, blah, blah. No, that's a third-party thing. It's just so frustrating because, like, look at this. Boom! And is guaranteed to always and only be called if onGraph start has been called. And we are logging out that start was called. It's just not doing what it's supposed to. God, that's so annoying. Alright. Well, I didn't see anything immediately obvious about this. Okay. So, let's let that go. And I need to stretch. Good to stretch out the ligaments. You've been sitting at your desk for a while. I really wish I knew why this timeline stuff was so wonky. I legitimately don't know what I can do if this is not if I can't reliably get this to work, then I have to come up with a way to brute force it. But I don't know how to do that. Because like I said, I can't assume that the player will have failed every attack, which means that like, the only thing I could do at that point was just whenever one fails, just immediately call fail, and I would not be able to really resolve any ties, which is annoying. It's not ideal. That's really not. Why would this break? Well, I guess that's the thing, right? It's like I didn't break it. It just stopped working. So if it works after this shutdown and reboot, then that means that Unity's timeline functionality is indeed inexorably linked to the scripts that it loads into memory while you're in the editor. And if you do something weird to those scripts, like renaming them apparently, then Unity just won't work. However, if it still fails now, then I don't really know what my theory is anymore. I wouldn't have a theory as to why it's failing. So it's very frustrating. Yeah, excuse me. Got the yawns. Okay, let's go to 1. Let this fail. And oh my god. You all saw it. I changed no scripts. I changed nothing. All I did was close Unity and reopen it, and it worked. We still commented that out. I did save the file. It wasn't a fluke. It seriously, Unity? Okay, we're gonna fail again. See if it fails. Oh my god! It is! It is something to do with refactoring script names! Okay. I'm also willing to bet that you can't delete scripts, or this will happen. And maybe it only has to do this if those particular scripts are used by the timeline. But geez, that's really, really dumb. Like, really dumb. Okay. So yeah, that's a thing. See, now I'm just paranoid that like builds might not work because builds might just have a bug where timeline's like, I don't really feel like working. Okay. Well, that's something to keep an eye on, I guess. I probably should submit a bug report if I can make that a repro, because that's really, really annoying. And actually, I guess I should check patch releases, because I know they're up to 2017.4, but I had to roll back because that was doing some weird stuff with my combat labels. So we'll see. That's so infuriating, though. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get our other fail states set up, and we'll do priority fail checks, I guess. Oh, right. That is. So this is where things get kind of weird because let's go ahead and take a look at our second phase left attack. So I have two attack sections, a defense section and an offense section. Now what the expected behavior here would be is if you fail to type in the defense section because it ends before the offense section does, then you would just immediately get swatted back. But here's what's weird. If you fail the defense section, it jumps to the end of the track, which would then mean that you have also failed the attack section if you haven't already completed it. So that's really weird. That means that I need to get the behaviors their end times, and then whichever one has the earliest end time that's a fail state, I would be able to do something with that. This just got a lot more complicated. Okay. Well. Gross. That means I basically have to do this loop again, I think. Maybe. What can I get from play? Can I get like duration? I can get duration, and I bet I can get start time. Oh, I guess I can't. I can get time? Get previous. What the heck is propagate? Get previous time. Let's see what these do. I'm gonna look for Unity timeline. Get previous time. Hold on. Drag that over here. Well, this is not English. Boop. Hooray for knowing English. Oh, that did not do what I was expecting. Okay, fine, Unity. You can be like that. I can't believe you're seriously just gonna prevent me from doing that. Screw you, Unity. You're so dumb. So let's see. I need playable extensions. Is that right? Yeah. So let's just look for that. I swear, if you have nothing, I'm going to be very mad. Okay. Let's see. Get previous time. Returns the previous local time of the player. That's not very useful. This is a templated extension method and can be used by any type that inherits from iPlayable. Okay, that's fine. Versus get time, which is the current local time. Yeah, it's not very useful. Okay, are there other functions I could use here? Add input, connect input, destroy, delay, duration. See, the problem is, like, I can't really do, I think, get input and, like, just get the earliest one within the track, because it's possible that one of the earliest ones might also be one that ends ends last, which means it wouldn't be valid anymore. I guess I could get all of their states in order and then check durations, and that would nope. Can't do that. Way too vague. It could potentially give us false positives. Okay. This is really annoying. Is delayed. Is done. Maybe is done could be used and just like. So if done does not get set when we skip forward. If the duration of the play will set when the time of the player reaches its duration. Alright, let's, for all of these behaviors, I'm going to go ahead and debug that state. So we're going to say debug.log play.get, crap, what was that? Get play state, or is done. Okay, so let's see if that gives us different outputs. Question mark. If it does, then we should be good. If it doesn't, then bad things will happen, and we'll have to figure out how to do this. Hooray for very, very strange and esoteric coding. Thank you, timeline. Clear this. Let's give it a shot again. So we're going to want to get to the second stage and then fail, actually. We don't really care about the first stage. Because the first stage we know works, but the second stage is the one with multiple possible failures. Clear this. Take a look at it. So we should have an instant fail. What? What? What happened here? Attack count. What the? Are you serious? Did you? What? Did you clear? No, because attack count gets set on frickin' start, which didn't get called. I'm sorry that I'm yelling into the microphone. I am apparently having a bad day. That's new. I've not seen start not get called before. What the? Okay. We're good. It's the little things in life, you know? Wind on a summer day. Snow in winter. Timeline not being consistent. It's all part of the perfectly natural order of the universe. Now it gets called. Oh my god, Unity. This is... Okay. So this is incredibly infuriating because stop is being called, but attack count is not apparently, it's apparently 0. So I guess I'll go ahead and do stop plus attack count just to be sure that it's 0. Also, I do need to apparently set them to have Oh, you know what? This might be a non-issue now that I think about it. I suppose I could just flag them as higher prior. No, well, higher priority. No, I can't. I can't do that. In this one case, it would work, but potentially in later situations where I have a much more complex attack layout, it wouldn't really be viable. So, never mind. This is infuriating, though. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and log start plus attack count as well. Let's go ahead and move this. Put that there. Okay, let's see it. So this is rather infuriating just because I can't. It's really concerning actually because I can't really reliably build a system if the bedrock of that system, which is timeline, is not consistent. If it doesn't give me consistent results, if it doesn't consistently call start and stop, I cannot comfortably use this system. But I have to because obviously we're kind of tied into it at this point, and I just okay. I might end up trying an update tonight after the dev stream, just updating to like 2017.4.2, seeing if my combat labels still behave weird. If they don't, hooray, and maybe they'll have fixed this timeline issue. If not, I guess I could file a bug report or check patches. Okay, we got start 2. Apparently, also this is good to know. The start function is called before the wow. Here we are. Here we are. This is what I wanted. This debug. Is it because really? Really? Hmm. Okay. So we're getting a null reference behavior on play. Interesting. Okay. Argument cannot be null. The playable passed as an argument is null. Call is valid on playables to verify they are valid before you use them. Maybe I can't do that then? I guess I could try is valid. And I could also go ahead and here say plus playable dot get input count, I think is what I want here. Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure that it's possible that maybe all those behaviors actually get blown away when stop is called. It's all good. Black boxes are frustrating. Yeah. I wish that it just wasn't so cumbersome to work within the system because it's really cool. And as you can see, I'm basically using Time Machine as like almost like a pseudo state machine, and I'm using it to kind of drive logic, but it's just very frustrating that I can't really get into the inner mechanisms of it. It's all protected and internal, and that just drives me nuts. I'm trying to think of the last time I had something this frustrating with me regarding a built-in Unity system. The UI was never really this frustrating, I don't think. Getting used to UGUI and all that. That actually wasn't that bad. But also, yes, it's good to keep in mind that apparently start on the second or on a graph that starts playing is called before stop on the previous graph or is called. Okay. So interesting. So they must be blown away. Oh, that's really not good. So, okay. Um, um, I suppose we could keep track of all failure timelines on start. Basically, instead of adding them on attack fail, because we aren't going to be able to retrieve these behaviors. Um, just setting them to be set, or we're going to grab the reference to this failure timeline on start, I guess. It seems like that would work. Um, God, it just sucks because it means that we have to keep track of everything regardless of if you fail or not, which is rather frustrating, obviously. Um, okay. Did I not prioritize them? Okay. So if I go to my defense section clip here, do they both have priorities of 0? They do. Okay. I'm going to set the attack priority failure to be 1, I guess. I just want to make sure that those priorities are still being retrievable, or are still being retrieved. Well, not like they were before, are being retrieved at all. But we've been getting this element with the same key already exists, blah, blah, blah. And I guess we can actually just go ahead and come down here and say, instead of .add, we'll just say of behavior dot fail priority is equal to this. Not ideal. Of course, in this case, we won't actually want to do that. I guess. Oh wait, no. Instead of caching the behavior. Oh yeah, that makes kind of more sense. I guess I would want to pass the behavior if I could to get more relevant information, but for now that's not too bad. So I guess we can just make this, instead of a dictionary of ints and behaviors, it could be a dictionary of ints and timelines. So we would just go ahead and say, well, before we do anything else, I suppose we'll say if behavior, come on, behavior dot fail timeline does not equal null. Then we're going to do this is equal to this. Let's go up here, change this to playable director. Okay. And we'll just do that. That actually might be better, I think. Let's go ahead and let that go. Actually, now that I think about it, I suppose we could get around this by having the priorities be in reverse order. So if you have, so essentially we would set defense section to be equal to priority 1, while offense section here is priority 0. Because if you fail, it skips to the end, and then we would just say, okay, we clearly have not failed any of the earlier ones. So if I had multiple defense section clips here, it would just use the order that they came in. So the earlier the clip ends, the higher priority it is. That could work. It just sucks that I have to do that. And that would still, I think, work even if you had 2 attacks end at the same time, because then they would just kind of like jostle for position there. Well, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't jostle at all. They would just have their own priorities, and then I would be able to cleanly say which one is which. So this whole thing might be moot, is what I'm saying, I guess. So let's go ahead and I'm actually going to do that real quick. I'm going to set this to be priority 1 and set this to be priority 0. And I think that will work even for like very complex layouts and very long or sporadic ones. It should work in all cases. But I'm going to go ahead and play this. We should be able to log out our expected fail state, or at the very least its index. Actually, no, we're not logging that. So, but it won't matter because we won't really add them. So actually, let's go ahead and stop this real quick. Right, because that won't do anything. So let's debug.log priority. And before we do anything, we need to set up our timelines for both fail states. because otherwise we won't really be able to do much. I guess we're only going to have one timeline for now because they'll just share it. But that's well, no. Let's make them two separate ones because they will be two separate ones ultimately. So we're going to go ahead and create timeline. Call this troll combat dash relax left defend fail. Good God, the names are getting long. I also need to rename this one actually because it's not the intro fail, it is the relaxed initial attack fail. And then I will also go ahead and duplicate this left defend fail and change this to left attack fail. They're both going to do the same thing for the most part, but I do need them to be distinct from one another. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll say get our playable director in here. We'll make this defense fail. Not on that. Defend fail. Duplicate that. We'll call this offense fail. Make this our attack fail. Okay. Let's go ahead and assign those real quick. Yep. So our defense fail does that, and our offense fail has that. Nice. Add our track group, camera. We'll add our Cinemachine track. Pull in our cameras, and we will transition from reload. Can I just drag that in? That would be pretty. Nope. Oh well. That's a machine shot clip. Go from here. That's a machine shot clip to our idle camera. Let's go ahead and we'll make this. Probably don't want this to actually be very long. I guess 2. Actually, you know what? No. Very frustrating to work with this. We'll make that 1 second long. So that transition is only going to last for 1 second. That should do what I would expect. Let's go ahead and, of course, make sure that we set our playable or Cinemachine camera. Sorry. Go back to there. There's our idle camera. Of course, we're going to need to do a track group for characters. Track group for our menu. Playable track. Select combat action. Pull this in. Right. Let's see. This is going to be our look at target clip. For now, we will of course have it just be the troll. Have it follow the main camera. Always follow. Select combat action. We'll probably go. See, start at 1 and end at 5. Honestly, both of these things are very, very long. We don't really need it to be. Let's shorten this to 3 seconds. Shorten you to 3 seconds, or I guess 2 seconds, and shorten you to 3. Okay. So that's that, and shorten you to 2. Yep. Cool. Not that it really matters, but so that's our attack fail option. Why is it attack fail 1? What? Oh, wait. What? Also, I love that this is relaxed, not relaxed. Okay. Interesting. Get rid of you. Why were you 1? Were you 1? You are not 1. Okay, whatever. Weird. Let's go ahead and set this up real quick. Track group. Hello, Sky. Welcome back. How you doing tonight? You missed me freaking out about timeline and getting really, really mad at it because it's apparently inconsistent, and that's frustrating. How are you doing tonight? Another track group for characters. Another track group for menu. Add our playable tracks. Add our Cinemachine tracks. Set Cinemachine camera. Cinemachine shot. Cinemachine shot. We're gonna go from relax phase. Oh, you won't work with me. And what just happened here? Time out. Time out. Time out. Something terrible has happened. What? What is happening? Look, I have no track binding. What has happened? What has happened, Unity? Why? Why are you so crap? Okay. Time out. Time out. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's my fault. It's because I was editing the asset. I was not editing the this. Let me add that again. There. Okay. That was me. That's my fault. I'm willing to own up to that. I will make this last 1 second. Have it be relaxed phase 2. You go there. You only need to be 3 seconds long. We're gonna go back to our idle camera. Doing good. Just making up some food. Cool. Cool. What are you eating? Set this to 1 second in with a duration of 2. Okay, that works. Let's set our brain up here. And we'll get our look at target. Set this to 3 seconds. Follow target as main camera. Now I got the hiccups. And clip. Select combat action. This is 2 seconds, starting at 1 second in. And okay. So now we should be in a spot to actually fail our multiple failures. I am going to make one of those timelines actually very different, just so that I can be sure that it's the correct one when I start doing stuff. So let's go ahead and go to our, I want to say offense fail. Go to this timeline. It would be really nice if timeline had like an actual track, like a dolly track, but no, that's too much to ask, I guess. Mostly because I really don't want to animate this. Okay. Think. Well. That doesn't really make sense. I was thinking about how if I could like apply a noise of some kind. Maybe. So if we go up here to our idle camera here, we could set this to have some noise. If I could just remember what it is. There. That's good. The only downside to that is I think this is going to apply to everything now. So I think our idle camera will now have just tons of screen shake. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure that's what that means, and that's going to be very, very frustrating if that is the case. But we'll see what happens. 3 a.m. so time for dinner. Nice. Yep, there it is. There's our handheld camera. Actually, that's not really a bad effect. If it was a little more subtle, I probably could actually do something like, oh wait, no, we probably want that to be 1, but we want the frequency gain to be 0.1. Or I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? It just adds a little bit of movement to the camera, which of course is visually interesting. That's actually not a bad effect. Okay. I kind of want to mess with this now. I guess we'll default these to 1s so that I can see what these are a little bit easier. So that's why. Okay, so extreme is like this huge wobble. Mild is just very. It's a little softer, it seems. Strong is. Seems like strong is worse than extreme, which is weird. right angle? That seems odd. Woof. Wow, definitely not that. That is crazy. Vibration. Perfect. Mwah. Perfect. This will be the idle combat screen. Oh God, I'm getting a headache just from looking at that, actually. Let's go ahead and dump that down to mild. And let's reduce this to 0.5 and 0.5, I think. Yeah, I like that, actually, as an effect. It gives it a little bit of, like you're standing there type feel. Okay. So we'll actually keep that on there, but we won't be able to tell which one we're using as far as the fail state goes. So let's go ahead and get to the second stage and then fail. Okay, so we're just going to let this fail. Got yourself some macaroni. Well, that's a good midnight snack. You son of... Look what it did. Once again, it has stopped working. It won't call stop. Okay. Okay. We're going to clear this. Try playing it again. Shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Timeout. 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 Okay. I'm going to go back here. We're going to make those changes again. We'll make this mild. We'll make this 0.75. Okay. Let's go ahead and let this go. It's really disappointing, though. So we're going to keep an eye on the console here. And if it doesn't call stop, I will quit Unity one more time. I will reopen it. And then if it works, I will be mad. I will be very, very upset. So we're getting... So there's our start function. Good. Now. Stop did not get called. I feel like I need a noise gate just so that I don't blow your guys' headphones out. So once again, we are going to save the scene. I'm going to quit Unity. I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to reopen it. Then I'm going to run it, and it will probably work again. What is up with you, Unity? Why do you get in this state? On the bright side, I think we're set up to handle failures now. It's really weird that this is how things are going, but I'm actually also kind of worried that we aren't... Like, it seems like behavior is going to be equal to null here. I could be wrong about that, but if that's the case, it means that we never unregister these events, at least for the duration of the timeline, which is maybe okay. I do worry that that would build up performance hits over time. I guess it wouldn't really, because it's not like we're sending out events. We're just listening for events in this, so it's probably fine. I just always prefer to set up my, or to get rid of my event listeners before I delete an object, but I don't think I have that option with this, so. Okay. Assuming Unity will actually let me, oh, of course not. God, both Visual Studio and Unity are frozen. Okay. This is so much fun. Okay, let's test this again. I am just going to go ahead and get to the second point. We're going to get to the second section, and then I'm going to see if I can fail. I mean, I know it's such a strange concept, obviously, me failing, but... I have to admit, that is one of the most awkward ways to phrase that. To say that you want to eat something. Okay, so we get our start. Oh my god. Okay, so we're going to fail here. We're going to type anything in. Ta-da! Whoa. whoa, 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 whoa. What happened here? Did I forget to set my... Oh, I did. I totally forgot to set my, yeah, that. Clear this. Let's go up to our timelines again. Phase 1. Oh, not phase 1. Phase 2. We'll do defense fail. Go up to here. Doot. Let's grab this. Set idle camera. Probably did the same thing over here. Oh, no, I didn't. It was just the... Okay. Well, that's good. We're going to save. Turn off preview. Come out here. Let's collapse everything again. Hit save. And then we'll try it one more time. That troll is slim because of perspective. That's what happens when you rotate almost 90 degrees to the camera and you're paper thin. Let's go to battle. I actually kind of like having that handheld shake going, even in situations like this, because it just kind of gives you that sense of dynamic motion, which feels redundant now that I think about it, saying something is dynamic motion. But just because like having this movement feels pretty good. It actually, for some reason, this makes me think, am I misremembering that? There was an old game called Okage on the PS2. It was a JRPG from Sony's internal development system, actually. The people who like very rarely actually make games. But I think it had a battle camera that kind of did this. I could be completely misremembering it, though, because that's, again, a PS2 game, which is, oh god, almost 15 years ago at this point. Okay, so we have that working. We have failure priorities working as well. Let's go ahead and get in there. Oh, and I'm going to... There. I'm going to complete the defense... Well, this is interesting. So that's worth looking into. So we finished our defense. Let's see what our fail state says here. Okay, yep. So we got a 0 out. Cool. So it's only adding timelines that actually did fail. So that's working. We apparently don't have labels set up to clean up their behaviors for when they're false choices, or when they're hazard choices. That's weird. Oh, crap, we still need to handle hazard choices, actually. That's another part of combat that we need to... that was something I was actually considering changing up a little bit. So, whenever we play... Let's see if they're still messed up. I'm actually curious if they're messed up even after playing. PS2 was my favorite console. Well, statistically, it's most likely to be, just because there were so many games for it. So I'm going to see if the labels are still messed up. If they're not, I'm going to... okay, so this works. And... So what this is supposed to be, the right choice here, as in the choice to the right, not the correct choice, is what I call a hazardous choice. And if you take that, you will receive damage. Now, I'm thinking of changing it so that if you take that, you have a very difficult attack section that you have to complete. And if you complete it, you don't get to continue your attack, but you do get to not take damage. Mostly because I don't... Well, I don't know. That might be too forgiving. Because it was largely supposed to... Well, no. That's... Yeah, I do want to do that. I do want to have it be a very, very tight, small window for typing in your attack. Mostly because I want you to be able to, if you... Well, but why would you ever intentionally do that? Like, there's no reward to it, so why would you ever type it? Unless it's by accident. I don't know. Because I would like you to be able to react if you're good enough, and just avoid damage, but why would you have made this mistake? the only real situation I can think of is like this is your first bit in combat, like you've never done combat before, and you choose it because it's shaking, and you're like, oh, what does that mean? Um, See, that's the thing is like there's no real reward. It's all risk. There's no reward for choosing a hazardous choice. I had thought about making it be like a cut or a shortcut maybe. Um, yeah, that could work actually. So the normal progression, for example, with the troll will be you have this, which is phase one. Well, this is section one of phase one of stance one. Um, where you get to choose to go left or right. Right is the hazardous choice, and left is the safe choice. If you go left, then you have another segment that you have to complete, and then once you complete that, you have the final segment, which is just your attack. But maybe if you take the hazardous choice, it's faster. So if you choose right here, then you have a very, very short but hard typing segment, and then it will just skip straight to the attack phase. Um, so instead of having to attack and defend, if you choose left, on right you would just have like one really quick defense move that you have to make that's really short and very easy to miss, and then it would just skip straight to the attack phase. Now that doesn't seem like much of a gain for the troll specifically, but I could see this being very useful for later fights, which would be more complex. So, because I could have segments like I don't know, you're fighting an enemy over a pit of lava, and you could go left, and there's like a huge walkway where you have to run up it, dodging attacks the entire way, or you could go right and like jump into the pit of lava and use like tiny sticks sticking out of the lava to just hop over to the enemy, and that would be a much shorter route. I kind of like that, mostly because I like having the idea of risk versus reward. Well, it's not like I like that idea actually. That is the definition of what makes something interesting. So I don't want to just have a choice that's bad. It should always be a choice that is risky, not bad. And then the risk should no, that's fine. You should never be punished for typing in a choice. Basically, you should be punished for your inability to type in a choice. So if you don't, so either you don't type in a choice, in which case you either miss it, or you fail and then you get booted back, or you manage to type in whatever the segment is, and then you can reap the rewards of however hard that was. I think that makes it a much more interesting combat system. It also rewards aggression by it rewards having hazardous choices or making hazardous choices with faster combat times and potentially more damage. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily do that one. That might be true for some combat situations, but not all necessarily. So, okay. So that's something we have to deal with, but we're not going to worry about that for, well, I guess actually, now that I think about it, that doesn't actually require any more effort on my part. So let's go ahead and just make the right timeline, now that I think about it. I'm getting rid of jump, by the way. So we're going to make the right timeline, and it will be... Oh, God. Oh, this is... Oh, man. Ugh, timeout. No. This got a lot more complicated, actually. So if we select our timeline, go to our offense section, we only have one timeline here that you can play if you succeed picking that choice, but now we have to dynamically change that timeline based on if it's a hazard or not. Okay. Okay. I think I have an idea of how to handle that. Let's go to our offense section clip. I lied. That is not what I need. I instead need our actions. So let's go to timeline, go to definition. So we have true timeline, blah, blah, blah. I basically need to grab both of this. And we're going to name this as hazard timeline. And then true hazard timeline. And we're going to say the playable director that will play the action if it is hazardous. Now, we don't always have to have a hazardous timeline. It's entirely possible we won't need it. So I'm not going to do some fancy custom editor stuff. I'm just going to plop it in right underneath the other timeline, so it's going to go right above spawn point, I think. So actually, this will work out pretty well. Let's go to offense section clip. You fail, you get stage 3 terminal. Oh, jeez. That actually would be really, really funny. I always enjoyed games that had like really, really cutesy enemies that were not necessarily terrifying, because that's a bit of a stereotype at this time, or not a stereotype, but a cliche at this point. But like they're just frustrating because they're so cute, but they're really annoying. Um, that's not very clear either. Trying to think of something like crap. What was it? Double Fine's adventure game. What was it called? It's gonna bug me now. Broken Age. That's what it was. Right? Broken Age. Yeah. So actions of I dot. We're gonna say true hazard timeline is equal to actions of I dot. Hazard timeline dot resolve graph. I cannot type dot get resolver. Okay, paste that in there. Let's go ahead and copy this. I need to go to my defense section clip now, which is of course closed, because I was like, oh, I'll never need these things again. Come on, Unity. Open you up, come up to here. Okay. And then let's go to our clip. Which is actually going to be our... Oh, I guess I don't actually need to do anything there. It's just going to be part of it. Maybe? It might not be. I might have to go to my property drawer, actually, to have it draw everything. Let's find out. If it's there, then it's great. If it's not, then I'm sad, and I got to add it. As soon as Unity compiles, of course. Okay, so yeah, I gotta add that. Let's see, track asset editor. That's not what I need. Attack section. Nope, that's not it. Wrong. Combat. Here we are. Combat attack criteria. Is that? No, that's not right either. Where are you? No. That is not correct. What did I do here? Hold on. Let's go to actions here. Peak definition. It's a combat action. Okay. Combat action. There. There. Okay, it was buried. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, so we need to change this. Go ahead and grab this. Boop, boop, boop. I'm going to say instead of spawn point, I guess it would be true hazard timeline. Okay, let's go ahead and grab you. And then we're going to go to here. Paste that in. Hazard timeline. It's not going to be GUI content.none. It's going to be that. And then we're going to need to do our fun little position.height stuff here. Okay. I think that will behave as we would expect. Let's let that compile. Well, welcome back, Sky. I hope your plates are clean now. All right. Hello. I'm going to try to get this right. I want to say Elda, but that can't be right. Is it just Eld1D? Eldwund. Eldwund? Either way, hello. Welcome to the Devstream. I apologize for butchering your name. All right. So we could probably add... Oh, are you serious? So, that's funny. I can't actually... Oh, right. That's that. I don't think you can do uh crap. What is it? Tooltips on exposed references, right? Pretty sure. Yep, because it just does the overridden stuff, which is very annoying. Um, there are a lot of ways everyone calls me. Even Eld One Direction. Oh, okay. But the question is, what do you prefer that people call you? All right. So the next thing we need to do is we need to set up a way of determining what our hazard, if we have a hazard timeline, and if we are hazardous at the moment. So that's fun. Oh, geez, that's super fun. Okay. So I need to go to combat action, and I guess we would want to say if our is if is valid returns hazard, then we would want to use the hazard timeline. I think. So let's go ahead and see where true timeline is played. Um, here we are. So both in attack and defense section, I'm assuming. Yes, okay. So this is where it gets fun. So I need to say if actions of index dot is valid. Shoot, I have to just do 0, 0. This is another thing that I need to do. Is equal to dot visible. Do this. I don't actually have a way to retrieve the current phase or stance yet, so I've just been passing in 0, 0. We will need to fix that at some point. Else, we'll go ahead and say, you know what? I wonder if I don't. I'm also not handling hidden states right now. Let's see. It was meant to be pronounced LD1D. Okay, but I prefer to just be called Eld. All right. Well, welcome back, or not welcome back. Welcome, Eld. I will try my best not to butcher your name, although admittedly, Eld is much easier for me to say. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this. We're gonna say if actions of index.true timeline, instead of true timeline, we're going to say true hazard timeline does not equal null. Then we're going to play our true hazard timeline. Hello, Dusted Ham. Welcome back. How you doing tonight? Oh, also, I'm terrible, Eld. I forgot to ask how you were doing tonight, I think. I'm assuming I did, because I'm just naturally rude sometimes. So, I apologize. So, we now have hazard timelines set up. Let's see if we can get them to work. Let that compile. And we're going to have to make a new timeline. Okay. Oh, geez, I didn't double the work for myself necessarily, but I did add extra work. Because that's my solution to everything. It's like, this could be cooler. Let's make it cooler. Doing all right. How goes things? It's going pretty well. We have figured out tonight that timeline will just stop working occasionally. I don't know what causes it. I have theories, but I haven't really identified it exactly. But the solution is to close Unity and reopen it. Then it will work. It's very infuriating. But aside from that, going pretty well. We're almost done with the core combat loop. So we can get as far as failure states and multiple failure states depending on how many attacks there are, and it will prioritize those attacks. So now we're working on hazard choices so that you can be rewarded for choosing very difficult paths by either more attack or well, more damage being dealt or just a shorter time to get to the damage phase. So lots of stuff tonight. Let's see. I created a name. Or that name when I was 11, and I thought LD1D sounded cool for a YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm very lucky that I didn't really get into anything online that required me to have a name until I was in college, really. So I had some stuff in high school, but it was mostly just for gaming, and it wasn't that bad. I never did anything really terrible that I really regret or anything like that. But yeah, it's always kind of fun working with a name that you've had forever, and you don't want to change it because you've had it forever, but you kind of like it's a little silly. Um, Trying to comprehend how a text-based game can work. Well, if you're curious, there is a demo available online if you'd like to play it. We're currently doing a combat refactor, which I always feel bad whenever new viewers come by and I'm working on something that's not. It's not that it's not important. It's that it's something that's really bogging me down, and I can't really show you what the full game is like. Um, but it's a first-person text-based adventure, so that's even better. Okay, so back on track. I need to create a hazard timeline for the right choice. I'm just going to duplicate that, call this right hazard. And let's go ahead and set up our timeline assets for this because we have a lot of them. So we're going to go to create timeline. Control combat dash relaxed, not relaxed dash right. Okay. Let's go ahead and duplicate this and we'll call this right dash hazard. These names are getting ridiculous. I need to come up with a better naming convention, I think. Let's see. A decade old. Okay, downloading the demo. Yeah, the demo on the website is, I believe, from 2 Novembers ago, because I've been working on this forever by now. But it has roughly 80% of the same content as the current demo. And at the very least, it gets the idea across. So it shows everything from combat to interactions to sort of cutscenes, although that cutscene is actually not as good as the new one. I really should update that. 58 megabytes of pure text. It is more than 58 megabytes. I think right now the demo is about 150 megabytes ish, probably closer to maybe 140 megabytes. My goal is to have the whole game be under a gig because I feel like that's a bit much. Ideally, it'd be less than half a gig, but we'll see. Light maps are pretty big. Oh, cool! For the Patreon stuff, are you just having it scrape for credits still, or did you add anything extra to that? Okay, so let's go ahead and assign our timelines. Hazard. Okay, we're going to need our track groups. This will be our cameras. Go ahead and get our Cinemachine track in there. Main camera. We'll get our shot clip. Not going to do anything with it yet. We will do a playable track. We will say set Cinemachine clip. We'll add another track for our characters. Let's go ahead and say playable track. Add clip. Look at target. Set that up. And always follow. And that's all we care about for now. Oh no, we need combat, don't we? Duh. Let's go ahead and add another Cinemachine shot clip. So this one, I believe, is going to be Relax Phase 2 from our standard. Okay, so I'm going to change this to idle camera to our Relaxed Phase 1 camera. Wait, is that right? Oh, never mind. Oh, right. Oops. We gotta actually duplicate that and move it real quick. It's just for credits. Okay. Slam names into a database because I don't want to distribute an API key with the game. Makes sense. And then it's a simple HTTP get, and I serve up some JSON. Okay. Cool. That doesn't sound terrible. Is there anything weird going on, or is it just pretty straightforward? I guess if it's just an HTTP get, then it shouldn't be too bad. Let's go ahead and I think we're going to want an 80-ish. Drag this over. Maybe 70. There we go. So this will be our to the right timeline. It's going to be a lot closer. And you're going to have to be... Oh, man. This is going to have us do motion, too. Okay. This attack is going to be super crazy. We might have a 3-hour stream tonight. Okay. So I think what this... I'm not going to... Well, I could animate the club. I might as well, I guess. We're going to have the club swing at you, and it's actually going to... it's going to have the combat label that you have to type on it. So you'll have to type a moving label. Okay, so let's go ahead and rename this to Relaxed Phase 2 Right Camera. Not camera, parentheses 1. Okay, we're going to go to our right choice here, go to our timeline, set up. So our idle camera is actually going to be our Relaxed Phase 1 camera. And then our Relaxed Phase 1 camera is actually going to be our Relaxed Phase 2 right camera. Oof. Oh, you're kidding me. It only renames it once. Hilarious. That's some good work there. Let's go to Phase 2 left. It looks like this is about 3 seconds. Oh, nope, it's 8 seconds. That makes sense. We're going to shorten that to 5. It's going to be a tight thing. Actually, no, this is fine. So this is actually going to be 8 seconds long. This will be 2 seconds long. And you are going to go all the way over to here. So it's going to be about 8 seconds long for the... This is the relaxed version of it. It's not the hazard choice. Easy peasy. No, it's really simple. It does require server running, though. Really? You have to run your own server for this? Huh. I would have thought that you could just access a Patreon server with your login credentials. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to move this over right about there. I guess we'll have it stretch the entire way. We will set this to our Phase 2 right camera so that it retains its camera hood after the cutscene stops. Not that it's really necessary there, I guess. Okay. Next, we will go to... Actually, you know what? Is that even necessary now that I think about it? I actually know if it is. Because we would fail. Or succeed, in which case it would just shift. It's fine. We'll do that anyway. And I'll think about it. Let's see, we have our look at working. Yes, yes, yes. Our shots are working. Okay, let's go ahead and add combat. So combat is just going to be a attack section track. We're going to add a defense section clip. And this is going to be really, really tight. Oh, wait, no. Right, this is not... Never mind, this is not an aggressive section. I keep forgetting that. I keep trying to make this the hazard. We're not there yet. We're going to do an offense section, which will start about 1 second in, and it will last the entire duration, of course. Then we're going to do another one that's a defense section. We'll make this one last 5 seconds. That's good. We'll move this to the center. Pretty much the same as what we were doing before. And we're going to have this one... Let's go ahead. Whew. All sorts of things need to be set up here. Fail priority will be 1 again. Follow target. Yes, we do want to do that. Our target is the main camera. Completed alpha is 0. That is expected. Completed alpha for this is going to be 0.5. Actually, it was 0.25, I think, right? And again, we need to drag in our main camera. Oh my god. I'm like thinking in 5 different directions at once right now because all of our systems actually are coming together right now. It's super exciting. I think everything should be able to work. Like our hazard stuff should just be done already. We just got to make the content. That'll be so exciting once we get this testing. Okay, so let's set up our actions. We should have 1 for each of these. We'll say this is... we'll just say another attack. Okay, and we won't have a success playable for that. We won't have a hazard timeline for that yet either. We do need to have our spawn points. So let's go ahead and minimize this. We're going to say attack points. Is that what I called it? Attack positions. That's what it was. Positions. Okay. Well, it's mostly a consequence of how I want to do things. Okay. What do you have? What are you doing that requires your own custom server, if you don't mind me asking? Let's go ahead and add in our. I think I just called it offense, most likely. Did I? I called it attack. That's fine. All right, so this is going to be where our offensive attack spawns in. Let's go ahead and move this around. Oh, you know what? Actually, we're going to move this. Give me a second here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this value, paste this in. We're going to change this a little bit. Paste component values. We're going to make this have a positive or negative z-axis, I guess. And then a rotation of 70. There we go. So it's roughly the same. And actually, you know what? I bet we could shorten this a little bit. Let's go up to this timeline. We're going to shorten this by 1. So it's going to actually last for only 1 second. And then this is going to be 7 seconds instead of 8 seconds. That seems reasonable. So we're going to shorten you to... maybe. Maybe. 6.5. And then we're going to want you to be here, I guess? Ish. Okay, I think that works. Let's go ahead and, of course, make sure that this follows all the way. Should be good. Should be good. Not quite, actually. Hold on. And we got to set up our spawn positions and our criteria, which are... Do I have criteria for my left ones? I might not. I might not care. Okay, I don't care right now then. Because I don't have to have criteria. If I don't specify criteria for if an attack is valid or not, it just assumes it's valid. I'm excited to watch it come together. I would, but I would too. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get to the end of the combat loop, so like getting to the actual attack, the multiple attack phase, but we should be able to get through the hazard choices, and that will be fun. Because it means that we'll have only 1 or 2 more stepping stones, and then our combat system will just be ready to go. I mean, we'll have to obviously make all the animations and timeline stuff, but everything should fall in place at that point, which is exciting to me. So, okay, let me duplicate this, put some stuff around. So we want our combat attack. I guess I'm going to put it... let's see. Go 1.5 up. Okay, let's just move it to about here. I want to say maybe could be fine. Let's try that. We're gonna go ahead and spawn in a defense position. Okay. Defense will be over here-ish and up, right about there. Probably further back, like right about there. That should be fine. Okay, let's go up to our attack again. Select our timeline. Let's collapse our cameras. We don't really need this. Defense section. Add this. We have our defense. And we'll call this just dodge again. Okay. So I think that's almost everything. We need to drag in our prefabs, of course. Basic attack. Basic attack. Oh, you know what I also need? I need to load my scene here so that I can make my sound selections. Let's see. What did I call that? Not that. Not that. We'll get there eventually. Okay, I think that's what I did for the defense ones. Second one, this is Harp 2, I believe. Yes, because it's the one that lets you progress. Okay, we are almost done. That was all we needed to do to set up our regular right choice. But now we need to set up our hazardous choice. So let's go ahead and we're going to duplicate right camera. And I'm going to add a parentheses hazard next to it. Okay. Oh my god, I swear I'm like the textbook definition of someone that does not understand scope because I'm trying to recreate freaking platinum game style action with this. Ah, it's gonna be so cool though. Okay. I'm also gonna turn on solo. Ooh, really? Why are you not updating? Solo, you should be moving. Interesting. Okay. Let's turn you on and off. Really? We totally have a camera there. Do we have 2 cameras in the scene? Oh, crap, we do. I'm going to unload that. There we go. Well, that was probably not the best idea. Okay. So we're going to be really, really close to the troll for this. Because we want, for the hazard choice, it's going to be really claustrophobic. Hazard choices are always going to be framed in very, well, I guess I shouldn't say always, but will usually be framed in very aggressive, with very aggressive framing. So you'll be like really close to the enemy, or you won't be able to see everything necessarily, and you just have to react to stuff that happens. So this is going to be interesting. We might, this is going to be good. We might actually make this defense one, instead of having a bunch, instead of having one long phrase or one word that you have to type, I might actually make this a sequence. So you have to like type D-O-D-J, I was going to say J, G-E. So you have to spell out dodge as they show up as one letter sentence, or as one letter phrases. Oh, yeah, that's going to be cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and minimize this. So right is set up now. Let's go for our right hazard. I'm going to say attack positions. Let's go ahead and just make some empty ones. I'm going to say offense. Yeah, I do really like it when things like this come together on stream, because I obviously get like very excited. And that's honestly just setting myself up for disappointment, because you know the worst probably will happen and it'll just be like terribly boring. I'm like, oh, I'm sad now. But I think we're gonna be able to get up at the very least the hazard attack set up, and it's gonna be so cool if I can make it work right. Oh, I'm gonna be so excited. Okay. All right. Let's see. So we don't have offense here. It's actually gonna just be defense, and here's where it's gonna be interesting. Oh god, it's going to be even worse than that. Actually, no, this is going to be even easier than I thought. I was going to have a bunch of different. So for dodge, there's 5 letters, obviously D, O, D, G, and E. But I don't actually need to have different spawn positions for them to show up in, because they're going to be parented to. Oh geez, this is going to be all kinds of weird. Oh geez, this is going to be all kinds of weird. I might have to do some trickery for this. We might have to refactor how this functions a little bit, but that's probably fine. Okay, so I'm going to parent this defense to... Actually, hold on. Before I get too far ahead, I'm going to set up the timeline. But I'm going to eventually parent this defense thing to the club, and then we're going to have the club swing, and labels will just show up on it. Okay, so we're going to rename this as cameras. Go to another track group, call this characters. Go to another one, call this combat. Okay. So this one will have our attack section track. This one will have our playable track. Add clip, look at target. It's going to follow main camera. Oh, crap. Main camera. Oh, did I set that up wrong on the right? Okay, good. Here, let's see, troll. It's always going to follow. Oh, here is where things actually get interesting. I'm not going to want it to follow the entire time, because I need to animate it after a certain point. But for now, I'll just animate the club, because these are all just kind of test animations. So I'm just going to have the troll look at you all the time, and the club will animate. Okay, so that's the character. We actually probably want that to stay open, but I'll add a defense section clip here real quick. So this one's going to be 1. They're all going to be 1. I'm just going to have a bunch of these. They're going to last, I'm going to say 1 second. Oh my god, that might not be fair. Let me see my basic attack here. Can I don't know if I'm overriding how fast it fades in. It might fade in like over the course of half a second, so you have half a second to type a letter, which might be unfair. Let's see, start attack, duration. This should be our fade in routine. Okay, so it's 1. Not great. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're gonna add a field for label fade in speed or duration because otherwise this gets kind of unfair. So let's go ahead and we need to go to our attack section clip, which of course is not on here. Okay. Let's see, label prefab. Follow target, fail an interaction. I guess we'll put it here. Public float fade in duration is equal to 1F. We'll pass in fade in duration. Okay. Let's find out where this is being referenced. Find all references. Where are you? Oh, right. You never get... Ah, dang it. You're no fun. Okay, we'll do this. Attack second clip, go to definition. And right here. Right there. Is that where I put it? I might have put it somewhere weird. Fade in duration is under target. Okay, good. Let's serialize field, protected, float, fade in duration is equal to, say, 1F by default. Let's tooltip this. And we're going to say time it takes for spawned attack labels to fade in to full alpha. Okay, and we're going to set that in our defense section clip. Go over to here. We're going to say behavior dot fade in duration is equal to fade in duration. Nice. Copy this. Hit save. Offense section. Dang it, I don't have a behavior. Go to definition. Oh, wait, I don't need that. I need the clip. Duh. Ta-da. Okay. So now we should have that fade in stuff. They should be set. We should be able to use that. I don't think we need combat action right now. We don't need combat view either right now. We don't need start combat test right now. Okay, so now we can set those fade ins to be a shorter time. That makes it a lot easier. And this is going to be interesting. Oh, man. So we can set our fade in instead of being 1 second, which is what it currently was, to be half a second, I want to say. So 0.5. Okay. And let's go ahead and have it fade out in like 0.25, so it'll just be like really quick. Actually, no, let's make it 0.25. So you have a third, or do you have 2/3 of a second roughly? Or I guess technically 3/4 of a second to type it, but it's one letter. That's really going to be a tight thing. I don't even know if I'll be able to do that, and I'm going to be anticipating it. Okay, so that's that. We're going to make this D. It is going to target defense, and its criteria is again going to be none. That's fine. We will parent to spawn, and I honestly don't know how well this will go because it's going to follow the target, which is our camera. Hopefully the movement or the animation of the combat or the club won't be too weird. But drag in our basic attack. Okay, so all of that's set up. I think we're in a good spot for that now. Fail priority, I guess, would be 4. And then we're going to just duplicate this and move it. So, okay. We're going to duplicate. We're going to have this spawn in. We'll be nice and block this out in 1 second increments. And this is going to be priority 3. This is going to be O. Let's duplicate this. D, priority 2, duplicate, priority 1, G, duplicate, and priority 0, E. All right. Now I'm going to save, and I do need to reload my splash fade so that I can make these selections. The demo was entertaining. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I'm assuming that's what that meant. I was wondering for a second, just because it's not unusual for people to actually react either. Well, most of the time people like it, but if you tried Sierra mode, people get really frustrated, which is the point of Sierra mode. So I'm assuming that you did not play Sierra mode, which is good. Yeah, the sewer section is one of the more difficult puzzles in the starting areas. It makes sense after. Well, I can't. I don't want to explain it. I don't want to spoil that for you. I will tell you, although actually, I don't know in that version if you can. In the new demo, there is a hint manager that you can ask for hints to progress. I don't think it's implemented in that version though, so I probably should update what I have on the website because at this point it's almost a year and a half out of date. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to change this to. I'm going to cheat and have this just be harp. So the first two will be harp 1, and the next two will be harp 2, and the final one will be harp 3. So the idea is that you will hear, and then as you type out the letters. CR mode? So Sierra mode, it's when you start a new game, you get to choose your difficulty setting, and you can choose either normal or Sierra mode, and Sierra mode is the game's hard mode. It has shuffled item placement, combat is way more difficult, and it will have extra puzzles, potentially different puzzles from the base game, but the big thing is that you can actually make Sierra mode unwinnable if you're not careful. So you could miss something that you need, or you might. I'm not going to spoil what it is actually, but just know that it's modeled after the classic Sierra adventure games like the original King's Quest or what's the Hitchhiker's Guide or a bunch of other stuff. So it's the game's hard mode, and I personally enjoy it because it's me getting to be mean as a developer, and it's fine because it's called hard mode. So okay, so I think we have the character set up. We need to get the camera set up real quick, and then we should have combat set up, I think, but then we need to animate it. So let's go to main camera, add Cinemachine shot clip. It's going to transition from relaxed phase 1 to, it's going to have a duration of, I think, 1. And then we're going to have a blend into right camera hazard. Let's add our playable track, make it set Cinemachine clip. Drag this. Oh, you know what I almost forgot to do? I need to shorten the final one by 1 frame. So 299. Otherwise, it won't get its final friggin' call, which is ridiculous. Okay. Look at target clip. That's fine. Set this. This is going to be our hazard. Okay. Okay. Since my YouTube channel is dead, I have to make iVid. What, like iVideo? Gotta go for the night. All right, yeah. If everything comes together, I'll try to get a cool GIF of that and post it in the Discord. Yeah, we'll see what I can do with this. I'm really excited to see if this works. Hard and sometimes impossible mode. Well, that's the thing. Sierra mode is never impossible. You as the player are always able to solve all of the puzzles. but I do definitely do things that are very mean as a developer. I absolutely, the best thing about Sierra Mode is that I get to indulge in sadistic game design. So I can basically do things that you're normally never supposed to do as a developer. And it's great to be able to indulge in that. Surely there are Easter eggs in the demo. There are a lot of options. Oh yeah, there's tons of Easter eggs. Um, I mean, there's Easter eggs. There's a bunch of references. I think I have a reference to at least two or three '80s movies in the first castle area alone. Just because why not? I guess technically two references to '80s and '90s movies, and then one reference to a mid 2000s movie. I guess because technically Die Hard came out in I think the early '90s, or was it '96? Whatever. No, it was before that. I think the first Die Hard was like '92 or something. But spoiler, there is a reference to Die Hard. Okay, let's go ahead and close that scene. I think we are good, and now I need to just parent this to my club. Assuming I can select it. It's not letting me select it, because why would it? Freaking UI getting in the way. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to move the defense position to be underneath the club. We are going to zero this out. It is going to be probably around here-ish. Okay. I am going to also, real quick, I want to check my timeline. Did I set these to be parented? They parent to spawn, yes. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So this is going to be a really terrible animation that I'm going to set up. Let's go ahead and open up characters. I'm going to set up an animation track. We will grab our troll. Actually, no, we'll just animate the club for now. So let's go ahead and collapse this, collapse you. Actually, no, we will not animate the club directly. You never, ever, ever animate an object directly in timeline, because if you do, it'll wreak all kinds of havoc on you. So let's go ahead and say like club parent or club. There we go. Let's go ahead and add that, or add an animator to it, which I believe is under miscellaneous for some reason. Let's go back to our hazard here. Drag in our club parent. All right. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to start animating this, and it's going to be a series of really, really terrible swings. Like, just the worst. Oh, crap. Also, our club parent is not going to be set there yet. I need to move it down, and I need to move my club up because I want it to pivot at the bottom. So let's go ahead and just say position 1. Position 1.2. Dang it. Okay, fine. 1.5. It's going to be below it. That's fine. Okay. And then we're going to move that down to about there, I guess. Let's go to our right timeline. What the heck? Oh, right. Okay, so there we are. Nice. Oh, this is going to be so hard. Okay. Die Hard, best Christmas movie. Okay, so it was 88. Die Hard was 88. The second one came out in the early 90s. Also, I totally agree. I've actually gotten into an argument with some of my friends being like, Die Hard is totally the best Christmas movie because it's a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas. They're at a Christmas party. I mean, sure, it doesn't have Santa or anything, but it's totally a Christmas movie. I mean, he gets a present. He gets a machine gun. Oh God, summons. I'm not gonna lie. There is some amount of Final Fantasy that seeps into the combat design, and one or two of the later boss. Well, I guess what you would call boss fights are definitely going to be kind of that ridiculous. Maybe not quite like, what was Ragnarok the one that summoned the meteor? And it just like, you see it soar through all of the planets, and then it eventually just hits crap, what was it called? What was the planet in Final Fantasy? Well, 7 specifically, I guess. But yeah. Oh no, I mean, like I said, the combat system is heavily inspired by Platinum Games, so you're probably going to get something really stupid and ridiculous, but fun. And I don't use stupid in a derogatory term. I just mean it's fun. Okay, so let's see. We need to animate our club now. So I'm going to. We'll keep it here for now. Let's go up to the club parent here. And this is a trick that I do to get initial keyframes. I give it a slight adjustment, and then I just immediately change it back. Because you don't want to animate this attack until you are in position, like until the camera has actually positioned itself. It's unfair, I feel. Although actually, I might start halfway in because it's a hazard choice. Hazard choices are always risky. So let's go ahead and set this to 30 frame. We're going to do another offset and set that back to that. We'll give it a rotation of 91 and 90. Are you not recording position? Okay, good, you are. Just making sure. Next, we need to go to the very end here, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're just going to cache its position and rotation, so that way it's all caught up, doing what we would expect. Rotation of 91, 90, okay. That's just so that when we finish up with our animation, that it's back in its expected place. Okay, next we are going to go by 1 second increments. We are going to attack. I also think that I need to move my attacks because I think they are currently starting as soon as the transition happens and they need to start half a second later. Okay, so each, excuse me, each attack will take 1 second, so you will have approximately 3/4 of a second to type a single letter, which I think is possibly doable. Especially since I will know what the letters are, but if I feel like that's too much still, then I might end up spacing those out. But fortunately for time, if it's timeline, it's not that hard to adjust these things. So, okay. So this is its resting position. We need to move it to a new position. We're going to go into the scene view. We're going to go to the new fancy multi-tool thing. We're going to have it go from there to... Go ahead and have it go here. Rotate. God, this is going to be such a weird one. It's going to look hideous, by the way. Like, I am not going to be able to successfully do this. This is going to look terrible. In fact, I'm like 90% sure that it's not going to swing in the way that I want it to, but it's fine for now. It's just meant to be super quick. So, that's 1 second in. Let's go to the next second, which will be here. So this is what it currently looks like. Yeah, it totally went the opposite direction that I wanted, but we can adjust that with keyframing. Let's go up to 150. Okay, now we need to rotate it to the next area that we want it to be. Pretty much just going to rotate it back, I think. Come on, keep going. You got this, troll. So now we have D, O, and... Wait, no. D and O. This is O. Let's go to timeline again. We'll go one more up to here. We're going to rotate it, I think, down to here. We'll rotate it to here. And we'll have it swing like this. Good God, this timeline, this animation is going to suck. Like, really hard. Okay, 70. Let's go ahead and... scene view this again, and we will put it here, swing it all the way back. And before I do anything else, I am going to go ahead and say edit keys. We'll set this time to be 360, so that I can come up to here, 330. All right, one last thing, which is going to be, I think, a downswing. And it'll just be like that. Come on, work with me. There we go. Okay. This is really one of the most awkward things. So this is what it looks like. God, this is going to be so ugly. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Will our hero have battle friends? No, not really. Mostly because I don't want to deal with having multiple companions. Well, not multiple companions, like companions in general. It would be cool, but I think that is it's a bit much in scope for me, so I don't think I could pull it off very well. Oh shoot! Did I make that one 30 seconds instead of? No. Why are you keyframed? You're weird. Huh. Okay. Well, whatever. It's fine. So we're gonna come down to this one, and we want to make it go the other way. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stop recording. We are going to save, because it's been a while, and we are going to grab our rotation values, and I guess we'll want to do, nope, okay. Let's grab our rotation values. So we're going to go here. It goes backwards, but I don't actually want it to go that way. I think I need this to do. Hold on. It's going to be very awkward. Let's see. Hello, Warner. How you doing? Let's see. How long has it been since you saw me last? Currently, we're doing pretty well. Having a pretty good stream. High energy. Feeling happy. Getting really close to finishing up a small section. Well, not a small section. A really cool section of the combat refactor, and I'm really hoping that it looks all right. It'll probably look terrible, but let's go ahead and break this so we can do like this. There we go. That's okay. Not quite what I was expecting, but you know what? It's fine. I'll take it. It's just a test animation anyway, to make sure that everything works. Okay, so I think with that, we are in a position to test our actual animations. So let's go ahead and drag all of this. I need to move it over one whole second. I'm going to drag you over to there. And then we are going to just drag this out to here, drag you out to there. Stop that. Stretch. What are you doing? Oh, fine. What is going on? It won't let me stretch it. Okay, 6. There. Now I can do 5. Jeez, I gotta be like that. We're also gonna go ahead and have this stretch like that. Okay, I think we're good. So let's give this a shot. I've thought about doing that, Eld, but I don't know. I might put that in like the developer area, but not in the game itself, because it would be funny, and it could be very, very jarring if I played it right. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Of course, I never say I'm never going to do something. I suppose. I just usually say that it's probably a bad idea for me to do something. Okay. I think we're set up. I think we're good to test. So let's see what happens. I'm really hoping that this just works in one go, and I'm going to be super excited if it does. Okay, let's minimize this, minimize this, minimize this. We're not going to have sound effects, but that's fine. Let's go to our right hazard. I'm sorry, our initial timeline. Go to our offense section. And now we are going to have our right hazard set up here. Okay, I think we're ready to test. So we should now be able to pick the hazard choice. It should start the hazard timeline, and it should be really hard for me to type it. It might actually be pretty easy because it's only one letter per thing, but I'm actually more curious to make sure that quick sequence works. Um, it's been like a year since the last time I saw you, so there have been quite a few changes since then. As you can see, we're currently working on refactoring the combat system because I want to. The current combat system it's fine, but it doesn't scale. Like I can't make it more interesting, which means that later fights would just be more of the same that you experience with the troll. But with this new combat system, I can integrate things like puzzles. I can integrate systems like doing research outside of combat to know how you should approach an enemy, unlocking special options in combat if you've done certain things in the environment. I can just do a bunch, way more stuff. That'll be really cool, assuming I can get this to work. I'm really hoping that this will be cool, and I'll be sad if it's not. Oh god, it's so big! Okay, we failed. We failed right away. That did not... That did not... Okay. Hmm. That did not go the way I was expecting it to. Okay. Okay. I I have to assume that its scale got set to 1, and that's why that happened. So I'm going to actually cheat by just moving our club or our defense option here out from under club. I think that might fix it. Let's find out. Hmm. Yes, there will be. There will be more ways for you to increase, or there will be ways for you to increase your health meter. I started out with VIT because I wanted it to be somewhat, make sure that you had some way to progress. But eventually, you'll unlock all of the ability or all of the letters to spell vitality. And of course, I am a firm believer in you should combat should always be it should always be possible for you as a player to get through combat without ever receiving damage. So I'm not too worried about having only 3 to start. Okay, so I can type it because I know what they are, but they are scaling something fierce. Okay. That's kind of disappointing. I guess in that case, I'm going to try not parenting them. Maybe that will fix it. So what was happening there, the like giant blob that you saw was the label, the combat label showing up, but it's getting scaled up, it seems. So actually, I'm going to turn off maximize on play, and I'm going to hover over the pause button. I could type it because I knew what the letters were. I knew how to spell dodge, but obviously that's not ideal. But I want to make sure that they are being scaled, and it's not just me being stupid. So I'm going to start combat. I'm going to choose right. Okay. So you can see, like, zoomed out, it's just a normal label. It's just super scaled up. The question is, why are you super scaled up? Because its scale did get set to 1. See, and this is how it would have to be done. Also, we would want to set canvas group to be 1, so that it would always be on top of things. So what we would expect to happen here is this. You would see 1 letter normal sized. It seems to be getting scaled up, which is odd because the other labels don't have that problem. Unless there it is. Okay. So I just need to set those to be 0.01. So I will do that. I must have forgotten. Wait, but why does you lie, sir? Well, fine. We'll still do it with this though. See if that fixes it. Because if they get scaled to 1 while underneath something that's scaled to 0.01, then it's fine. It's pretty much the same. Although I did kind of find it funny that we had the Doppler effect going on because they were so big. So they were getting the pitch shift happening as they moved. So let's go ahead and say battle. Okay. So let's go ahead and we need to also change our playable or our order here. So I'm gonna move that to like 5. This order and layer is a way for you to fudge UI so that it always draws on top of things. By default, the order and layer is 0, and that's what most things are categorized as. So they'll kind of like fight each other for positioning. But if you set it to a higher number, it will just always draw on top. So now our labels should no longer be obfuscated by the club. It should just draw on top of them and be fine. Okay, let's see. I am excited though because this actually works pretty well. And it actually, and the thing is, like, it functions, like it does what I expected it to. Oh no, I missed. Oh, I failed. I failed. Yep. So I didn't type the O in time. Oh man, I wonder for single letter ones. No, it doesn't really make sense to have it shake because there could be other labels. So, all right, let's see what this looks like. This is gonna be. Okay, it works. It's a little hard to see because the animation isn't that great. Um, why do you use a harp? That's a temporary sound effect. It's because I haven't really picked something out that I want yet. I just wanted to have some sort of sound, so I picked a series of some template placeholder sounds for now. Yeah, ideally I will have a much more customized actual sound effect that I'm happy with. But I also do want to have this sense of progression. So to show you what I mean, I'm not going to choose the hazard this time. I'm going to choose the leftmost or the left option. And let's go ahead and go through here. As you progress, I would like the pitch to rise so that it feels like you're progressing. So for example, when I choose left, lower pitch. And then obviously we don't have the final attack segment set up yet, but that one would have, the third harp as well. I chose to have all the 3 of them in the hazard choice just because it's a hazard choice, so you should be rewarded probably. But so cool, yeah, it does what I expected. It's not very pretty right now because it's obviously placeholder. It's placeholder stuff, but it works. That's what I wanted to test. So I'm excited about that. That's awesome. That's just so cool. It works. Okay. Will the strongest weapon in the game be the hardest to handle? That would be cool. So, when you equip weaponry, it changes how you attack. And that's also part of what the new combat system can handle. It can handle things like if you don't have a certain item equipped, then maybe you just can't do damage to an enemy, or to that specific enemy. So it changes a little bit. It'll change things like the phrases that show up. Currently, all the phrases that you see are basic examples of what you would actually have. To give you a sense of this, I'll go ahead and walk you through what I'm planning the final version to really be like. So we get to our initial state. You get your attack, or you get your description of the fight. It tells you who you're fighting. We go into battle mode, so I can type 1 or I can type battle. We hit enter. We zoom in, and here we're presented with a choice. We can go left or we can go right. Because the troll is holding his club in his left hand, it means that if you go right, you'll be going into the club. That's why it's a hazardous choice. But if you go left, then it'll be a little bit more safe, and it'll show you a little attack option. So it says this is an attack because it's a template right now, but it would probably say something like run in or punch if you're not armed, and if you have a sword equipped, it might say like draw or slash, and then the animation may or may not be different depending on what particular part of combat it is. But it's going to change things like what you see and potentially what animations you have and what paths you can take. So yes, it's hard for me to really say if there's the most powerful weapon in the game because they all kind of have their own paths that they would have you take. It's just that the most powerful weapon in the game would be the one that probably gives you the hardest path, but is also the craziest and most. Well, I don't know if I would say most fun. I obviously would want to make it enjoyable, but like way over the top crazy action for the harder weapons to wield, probably. Okay, so whew, that was a crazy dev stream. That was 3 hours, and we have everything from simultaneous fail states working and actual regular fail states working. We have hazard choices and non-hazard choices working. And we have the hazard timeline kind of showing how that would work. Obviously, it's weird right now because it's placeholder animations. But we also have just shown that without any extra setup on my part, we can do a series of one-letter attacks, and it will work just fine. So yes, I love it when a combat system comes together. So excited. Yes. Okay. So we're right here. Love it. Will the club change position randomly? So yes, the way this works, the new combat system, we don't have it in yet. We have like the groundwork laid for this, but there are stances and there are phases. This is interesting. Oh, right, because these are my stances. There are phases and then there are stances. Phases are determined by the enemy's health. So the troll has between 4 and 5 health, depending on if you find out his true name. Because if you find out an enemy's true name, then their health bar will usually get shorter, except for one boss that I'm planning, in which case it will get very much longer. But you can see the health range here. So if the troll has health from 5 to 2, then he will be using his first phase, in which case he probably actually won't have a club. He will just have a... it'll just be him, barehanded. Also, thank you for the follow, Eld. And once he gets below 2 health, so once he gets to 1 health, he will enter phase 2, where he'll pull out his club. And when he has his club out every turn, he will randomly shift his club to the left or to the right. And depending on which position his club is in, the hazard choice will be different. Now, for the most part, they'll play out the same. So going left when it's hazardous would probably do pretty much what you just saw with right, except with a different camera angle. But with later enemy fights, obviously that stuff can just be further expanded onto whatever I want. And there's custom logic that I can use to drive all that. So yes, this system is going to be super crazy. But it works so far. I think with the hazard stuff implemented and the simultaneous fail states and all that, I think our total percentage rate is now up to 60 to 70% done. Because all we really have left now is support for multiple attacks or multi-attacks. So currently I have this type here, single or multiple. All of the attacks that exist right now are single, which means that there's they can have multiple labels, but you only get to pick one. And once you pick that one, the rest fade out. Although actually I need to test that to make sure that if you have multiple ones that are single and you have multiple options in one of those single choices, that they actually do fade out and all that. And then there's multiple. The multiple type will be a single attack section with a bunch of different attacks that show up, and that's where you just have to like type as many of them as you can. You don't have to get all of them. You just have to get as many. You have to get at least one. That's it. How long have you been working on this game? So full game I've been working on for a little over 4 years now. I started it in my senior year of college. So I have been working on it for about 4.5 years now. It'll be 5, I believe, in November of this year. But about 2 years into my work, I scrapped all of my art and redid it because it was terrible. So, 5 years, 2 years in, I scrapped everything art-wise and redid it. And I've been working forward since then. So we're almost 2/3 done with the game now. Okay, I think I'm ready to call it a night. That's great. I love it. We got so much done tonight. So announcements before I forget. This Saturday I should be doing my normal dev stream around 3 p.m. Eastern time. Um, I'm gonna be out of town in the morning, and hopefully I'll get back by noon. So I'll have time to set up and get everything ready for that. Um, if not, keep an eye on the Discord or Twitter. I will announce at both places. And that is pretty much it for now, as far as announcements goes. Um, whew, yeah, I am good for the night. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.